What's happening, everybody? What's happening? A bit late and all scheduled 7:02 at this moment in time. But welcome to Where with the Mess, where we talk about love in a black man's view, life with meaning and purpose, and fitness with the intent of performance. Your host, Wesley Charles, the Godfather. Welcome. The theme today is life and love, as well as fitness. It fits all categories above it, and this is the difficulties of co-parenting, which is also a 6-story podcast that we're doing as well. And with this difficulty of co-parenting, we'll be discussing dating while co-parenting. Don't judge me by any means, because a part of this I'm going to be going into the things that I've experienced while being a co-parent, dating, and giving the narrative of the other person dating me on what they felt and how they felt during different situations and scenarios. So don't judge me, and if you know the people involved as well, don't judge them at all. This is just really based on some of the difficulty that does come with co-parenting and dating while co-parenting. So let's start off with my experience while co-parenting. So I just became a single dad in 2018, right? That was my start of being a single dad. I just became a single dad, and it was lovely. You know, as soon as I saw my son's face, I knew from that point on that I was going to be the greatest dad on the planet if it was the last thing I did. And seeing him be born and his mom being a part of there, like, I knew right there that was a bond that can never be replaced, as well as one that will never break. So the original nucleus that comes from dating while co-parenting comes from that original family, that mother, the father, the baby, right? What is their relationship? That's what the other person is thinking. So if you have a partner, the first thing they normally think is, what is the relationship between the mom and the dad who has the baby? And my relationship with the mother of my child, because I hope you guys also bring respect to the mother of your children, not just call them baby mamas. That's pretty ratchet, by the way. Really ratchet, so don't do that. Give them the respect that they deserve, right? So the mother of my child and we have a great dynamic. The co-parenting is strong. We both love our son. Of course, you guys see him all the time. We both, stay on top of him. Do we butt heads ever? Yes, indeed. I'm not going to say it's all peaches and cream or the grass is real green, but whenever you co-parent, you understand that there's always going to be a problem. So baby drama always exists. I don't care at what stage, what level you are in your co-parenting relationship, or what level you are in your family. Butting heads, baby drama, any drama. I don't even care if you're not even co-parenting, any drama exists. So that one is a main nucleus portion of it. So let me continue. This is also my story, so don't go back and just tell people to, retell my stories. It's my story to tell. So I had my child, and not a few months afterwards, I got into a relationship with a girl who, I believe was the love of my life, right? You meet somebody who's your exact opposite. You feel me? Your exact opposite. You normally meet like 3 of those quote unquote soulmates in your life, right? So I met my exact opposite, and I was in a relationship with her. And what we've been through, because it was a trio, what we've all been through has impacted us and taken a toll out of our lives. So talking about the difficulty with co-parenting, one is boundaries. I didn't know the boundary that I had manipulated between the mother of my child and the person who I was dating. I'm not saying no names either, so do your own research. And one of those things about boundaries is respecting the other person for who they are, right? And what they represent. right? She was the mother of my child, and I didn't respect that boundary. You know, I have a son. I take him out on walks. I went on nice little, you know, midday walks with this girl that I love, and that really disrespected the mother of my child, and I didn't respect that boundary. And as a single father, we tend to, and I'm only talking about this in a black man view, we tend to almost disregard the other person because there's no relationship there. So we don't see the beef or the tension until it actually kicks up. And that's when it starts happening. So every single time I did something of that nature, my partner, the girl I was in love with, she would always, you know, have to look back or have to check her surroundings. She always felt as if she was in danger of something. And really, it's not knowing where she stands between being with me and being with my child. So that was huge. I'm not like everybody else either. So everybody knows me, and everybody who really knows me know I haven't met a stranger. So I can talk to anybody, I can hang out with anybody. It's always going to be a great time. And I still want my son to experience that, you know, what does it mean to be a family, community, what it means to gather people together, what it means to be a strong voice in networking. So I don't mind when people see my son. I don't mind it. He's a joy, he's a light to the world. I don't mind it. What I do mind when it does come to co-parenting and dating while being a co-parent or being a single dad is your interaction with my son. I don't like that. It rubs me wrong. The reason why it rubs me wrong is that you're not his mom. You're not his mom whatsoever. So I'm not assuming anything. It's just that's not your role. That's not the lane that you need to be in. So I need you to like gravitate back towards, you know, loving who I am and paying attention to me. The kid will come in later. You feel me? Because he'll come in later. I'm already here. This should be your focus, right? As a single parent, the way your partner initiates with your kid also is weary. Like, take your time. Put it, clock in, clock out. You gotta warm up to me before you warm up to little one. And I know all single parents think of that. Whether they say it's too early for you to see him or her, whether they say, hey, look, we're not serious enough for you to even see a picture. Don't even go on my Facebook, Instagram, la la la, and like a photo. Don't do that, right? So I do know some people are within that degree, within that extent, when it does come to dating and co-parenting. And it's difficult because for the mother of my child, that's not right. And I need to respect that boundary. For the person I'm dating, what's up, Randy? For the lady that I'm dating, in their view, it's like, all right, he's cool with me seeing him, but now I have to watch myself and just see if he's okay with me doing X, Y, Z with said son or daughter, right? So that's huge. And as I continue the story, majority of the time I would have my son. I'm just that man. You know, that's my call of duty. I put it down all the time. I respect and love my family. I'm Haitian, so no matter if I'm together with the mother of my child or if I'm not together with the mother of my child, she always has a home here with me and my son. Always. It doesn't matter, you know, because family does come first. And if a man doesn't take care of his family, then he's not a man. And that's a true statement. And I live by that. But that's within a Haitian culture. Within an American culture, whether it's Black American or white American, having that type of relationship with the mother of your child is seen as funky, shady. And I've had many people say, oh, are you still sleeping with the mother of your child? Oh, y'all dating? Oh, I don't like like the fact that they can do this and do this, or they have this leverage or this leeway. And I really can't argue with them with the way they feel or their traditions. Is culturally, that's not what's going to happen with me. And that's a boundary that I set in stone. So I don't move on that. So for any person who's watching this who's like, oh my gosh, he's so cute, I want to date him, you got to get over that. Because my family matters the most no matter what. So the reason for that is, well, coming from a black man who loves his family, like a proud black father who loves his family, or any father that loves his family in general, if the mother isn't right, the child isn't right. Therefore, the dad will assist if the dad is really active in the child's life. So one of the things with the love that I had at that time, she didn't like the relationship I had with the mother of my child. I would always come to her for, I would always come to her rescue like Superman. If she needed something, she didn't even have to ask. She could just text it, boom, got it, boom, sent. Just like that. If she needed money, it didn't matter. Boom, you got money. It just didn't matter. And she didn't like that. She didn't like that. The relationship between the mother and my child would be off, but I would always support. And when you tell somebody that you have to be supportive of the other parent and they don't have kids, they don't get it. Just being honest, they don't get it. They don't understand that you have to provide for your own, right? And part of your own is that secondary family. And that's whether I gave the mother of my child, let's say, for example, I gave her $1,000. Well, me and you supposed to go on a date, but I just gave her $1,000, so now we can't go on a date. And I know you had $1,000, so you just gave it to her. Why you give it to her? You in love with this girl? This. Those questions they shouldn't arise. They shouldn't come up. And the reason they shouldn't come up is because that $1,000 doesn't just go to her. It goes to my son, right? So what does he need? Clothes, shoes. You feel me? Hair products, skin products, diapers, food. It's everything that nobody ever thinks about. That's really challenging and damaging within your core relationship that you're trying to build while dating, versus your core relationship that you're still trying to build while being a family man. And I can only talk about being a very active father because that's who I am. I can't talk about a guy who's not active. I'm a super active father. Y'all see him on my page and everything. So as our relationship continued, it got to a point where the two girls were bitter. Yeah, it got to a point where the baby drama started happening. Baby mama drama started happening. People calling out their names, calling out the words, and more the disrespect happened. And being that single dad, a portion of us, give me a second. Being the single dad, a portion of us will say, stay out of it. Just, you feel me? Just stay out of it. This is my thing that I need to handle. It doesn't pertain you. It doesn't concern you. Stay out of it. And the reason why we want that to happen is because until you have that ring on your finger, or until we know that this is truly what you want, we don't need you to be involved. And what I mean by you is that single mother, or it's that single father who's dating that other person, whoever the other person is, female, male, transgender, computer generated. I don't care what it is, but you have to, in that general sense, back off. Christopher Davis just sent me something. I mean, that's a real good fact. Christopher Davis said, provide for your own. It means if you have a set amount given each month and she needed something extra for him, yeah, that's cool here and there, but you can't carry to her needs. Like, she's with you and can have the best of both worlds. And it's speaking of the experience, culturally, because I can only speak on this culturally, the best of both worlds come with the dating dynamic. And when you do have that family, right? And you're trying to instill the bonds between families. So like back in the day, family within a black culture was all that matters. You go into a house, you see nothing but family photos, right? There's family reunions, family dinners, different stories, different events within our traditions and cultures as a black people, right? Black community, as well as being Haitian or from the islands. It's about generating those memories for my son. So a portion of the best of both worlds is still allowed in her life because she has to meet my family because she is family. So she has to integrate herself within my family, or we'll have to do trips with our son, or you would have to do trips with your daughter, XO, whomever. So the best of both worlds, you need to be able to showcase that no matter what and who matter what, that you're still a team, right? You still can work together. The love was still in the air and you still like each other. You're still cohesive. And that's what children need to see and know, because as you grow up in broken homes and in different families, there's arguments, there's this tension between both parents. Now I'm the child and I gotta figure out like which parent to cater to, and I don't know what I'm doing. Do I agree more with my mom? Do I agree more with my dad? I'm watching two people grow up, right? And now while I'm watching, I'm learning this is how people interact when they don't live with each other. When they have a kid with it, this is how they interact. If it's no bond, nothing strong, the kid's gonna think otherwise. And my last video, you seen majority of them kids, it was like 79%. Yeah, it was like 79% of children that grow up in those single family homes end up either divorced, pregnant before they get out of high school, and then most likely in drugs, addiction, and jail. All three of these don't get that opportunity or that chance just because we have too much pride. You feel me? Pride comes before the fall. That's in the Bible. So my bad for getting off tangent. I'm just saying that's within my standards, in my relationship, in my culture. That's what we do. So as the relationship had progressed and this baby mama drama happened, I had to play devil's advocate and say, hey, look, you two are similar. Both of them were Leos. As you guys know, Leos are, this is still on the record, Leos are explosive people. Right? I don't know why. I love Leos. I'm a Libra. It just happens. So they were the same. They literally were definitely the same people. They had the same fire. The weird thing about them was that, you know, if one got her nails done, the other one got the same color nails. Same style, everything. I'll wake up one morning, boom. The love of my life, she'll wake up, okay, I'm gonna get my nails done. She comes back and let's say her nails were green, right? Coffin nails, green, nice little length, not like at the thumb, but nice little length, you know? I go pick up my son and I see the mother of my child and she got the same nails. I was like, bro, this happened to me for about 3 weeks. Well, 3 occasions where they change out their nails. I don't know how frequent girls change out their nails, but it happened 3 times in a row. And that's when I knew you two are the same, but you're different people, right? One is the love of my life, one is the mother of my child. And whenever you have somebody speaking out another person's name, your integrity comes first. As a single father or a single mother, you got a dead dad at that, right? When dead it. The reason why is because I don't want to hear none of that. Is this how you talk behind her back? This is how you talk behind my back. This is how you talk behind my son's back. So I don't know what you're going to with your friends with, your mom with, your associates, your co-workers with. If this is how you talk to me, and you're talking about her behind her back, or you're talking about him behind his back, I don't know what you're saying to me, and I can't be that person, right? And it's difficult because you want, as a single mother or single father, you want to find traits that other person has that they can actually be able to showcase to your child whenever they step up into that role, stepmom role, stepdad role. And that's difficult because now you're seeing them overreact. You're seeing their true nature. And you're just like, do I really like that? Do I really want that? So majority of that case you say no to. So as I progressed within this, so they would go back and forth talking about each other, but they would say the same exact thing to each other behind each other's back. And I'm just like, look, you two are so similar. You should just meet. So the love of my life, she was cool with meeting her. And I was grateful for that, right? Because she was cool. She was willing to do it. And that showed me that she was ready. Period. It didn't matter. She was ready. She wanted to be with me. I knew it. I loved that. Now it's time to address the mother of my child. And when I addressed the mother of my child, she was bitter. You feel me? And the idea of that bitterness, whenever somebody sees you with somebody else and you're happy, that's the key. Start at right there. If you're writing any notes down, start right there. And you're happy. That other person becomes upset with your happiness. Like, why didn't I get this version of him or her when we had this child? I've kind of wanted this version of him or her when we had this child versus now I got to deal with him being happy with somebody else, right? So they want to take away the happiness. They want to project on you and give you some terrible feelings. That's really, give you some terrible feelings. So the love of my life would always say no. And I used to be like, you're really holding me back from my happiness. And I told her this, and she was hurt by it. I was hurt by it because love of my life is like, hey, look, I want to be a part. I want to be a present figure. This is what I want. This is what I want to do. What's up with her? And me being the third party, me being that dad, and I'm talking to them. Their boundaries start coming up. Oh, well, I think it's too early or this and that. And I'm just like, well, you can't control this dynamic, right? I'm feeling Shawty. Shawty's with me. She wants to meet you. This is the new reality. And most people, single dads or single moms that see the new reality from the other parent, they don't like it. They don't like it. And then they create feelings, unwanted feelings, or even thoughts about, oh, this person doesn't like me, quote unquote. Y'all two haven't even talked, and now you say this person doesn't like you. Oh, this person doesn't respect me. Y'all two haven't talked, and you say this person doesn't respect you. So I'm a guy who's really pragmatic and practical. So if it doesn't make sense factually, then it just doesn't work out. So the mother of my child, in that stance, she definitely did a lot of things that interrupted my relationship with the love of my life, and halted it, right? Definitely put some things in perspective, but really halted its progression and its growth in its entirety. There have been occasions, like I said, one of the biggest things that I don't want any parent to do is withhold their child from the other parent. So my child was being withheld from me in the earlier stages of me dating while co-parenting, and it really hurt. And the main reason that she had projected that was because I was dating the love of my life. And to restrict this, it really sucks. Just to restrict that moment, that portion of time, it really sucks. It really hurts. So I wasn't in the greatest mindset. I wasn't in the greatest state. But the love of my life, she was always supportive, right? And I could see why now some girls say they don't want to deal with dating a single dad or dating a single mom. It's because those baby dramas, or it's because those points of bitterness. And I saw it tear her apart. I saw her tear her apart day by day, week by week. There were some weeks that were really great, don't get me wrong, really great. And then boom, there's a problem, right? And if any problem arises, it's just like, oh, your son, da da da. They put the child in between. So dating while dating while being a single parent, and the difficulty is really understanding that divided time that you have, and understanding that the problems that you create, you can handle, right? Don't bring the other person, don't let that other person be involved in it, because it's your problem. So it's being accountable for the situation that you're going through with this person, and not projecting that onto your significant other or your partner, because this here will really mess this up. And being a person who's been through that, that's my advice that I give you. And as this relationship progressed, you know, my son got older, right? And, you know, we're moving around, we're seeing more people, he's getting brighter, he's getting more traits off of me. So people are like, oh yeah, I love your kid, oh my gosh, he's like a sunshine, da da da, I love him. And normally, you know, as I continued to grow and develop, girls would try to approach me for my son. Right? Girls will try to approach me for my son, and I don't solicit my son for dating purposes whatsoever. He's model type cute. I have a couple model agencies that I want to give him some photo shoots and picture runs for big brands, which I gotta work out the contract on that as well. But like, don't go after my son to come to me. That's the wrong thing to do. And the reason I say that is because I'm literally watching him the whole time. I'm still on daddy duty, right? When you're trying to get the attention of a single parent and they have their child with them, don't go talking to their child. That's I gotta make sure you're not trying to kidnap this person. Like, are you trying to kidnap my son or daughter? Yes or no? I'm still watching you because you're acting really freaking weird around my child, and I don't really like that. I'm gonna play smooth real quick before I knock you in the like. That's really the feeling of a parent being out with their child, and then some random dude or gal's like, hey, look, oh my gosh, it's so pretty, hi. That's the look right there. The whole time. That's the look right there. It's cold-blooded. It's cold-blooded because, to be honest, if you want to get my attention, like, just talk to me. Just talk to me. My eyes is going to be on him at all times. And please don't touch him. COVID's going around. You can have your ka-choo all the way over there. Keep it to yourself. So the interactions between the love of my life and my son, they were great. I don't think he would ever forget that girl. I don't think he would ever forget that girl, but it was just great. It was a good bond, and my son saw it, and he was like, okay. It's not like he called her mommy or anything like that, but it was just a good dynamic. And the mother of my child, as bitter as she was, as unwavering as she was, it was something that she didn't respect. It was something that she didn't like. It was something that I guess I generated, and I'm gonna take full responsibility for that. I generated that pain, that hurt, and that lust to have whatever I had removed out of her space, out of her facial, because she didn't like it. There wasn't really anything bad with the love of my life and the mother of my child that I couldn't control, or I couldn't at least maneuver through. If I handled things differently, I would. There was a segment of time where we had to change things up, and one of the real questions for me is to know that you'll always be down for me. And I know over history and over time that she proved herself. You know, she's always been there. And there was just this one moment where I was just like, dang, are you really here for me for the long haul? Or are you just here? And that's a question that anybody should ask their significant other or their partner. Are you happy here with me, or are you just going through the motions, right? And that's a better question. That's a better question. So I sat down in stillness, and it was during the finals week, spring semester, and something in me just said, test her. I don't recommend testing your partners, by the way. Do not recommend that. But God just told me to do it at that moment of time, and I did it. And the response that I received, I didn't like. And I didn't feel that. Before I would feel that, and this time I didn't. And that ruined me. Whenever you give up something that you truly love, like you do it, not the other person, you do it, it really messes you up. And being a single dad, not having that response that I thought I was gonna have, really showed me how much I have to think about my child within going into a new relationship or going into any relationship, whether it's platonic, whether it's toxic, whether it's amazing, right? I have to think of that other person, and that was an end of a saga, in a sense where I, no matter what, will still love this person, and I understand that that person is willing and willing to be a part of my child's life. Understand this person is willing to speak with the other parent. She did her job. She did her thing. She didn't do anything wrong within that respect. And the mother of my child didn't do anything wrong. She was just upset, right? So when it does come to dating, single moms, here are a few tips. I wrote them down, so bear with me. Few tips to dating single moms, and this is serious, so break out your notes, is understand her priorities. Her priorities will always come first. It don't matter what you say or what you do, her priorities will always come first. So you got to figure out a way to be a part of her priorities, but just understand that you're not her first priority. And that when it does come to being a mother as well, my son's just screaming. What's he doing? Is that she's more than a mom. You got to understand that. A girl is more than what she is. She's more than a mom. She's excellent. You feel me? She has goals, she got dreams, she has desires. So you gotta respect that. The other thing is that you need to be upfront about commitment from the jump. I don't care who you are or what you do. When you're dating a single parent, be upfront about commitment. If you just want to and just call it a day, or you Netflix and chill and call it a day, like be upfront with that. Maybe from, I don't know, text 40. I don't know. Because I don't know how many texts it takes to figure out. I don't know how many texts it takes to figure out, whenever you get to, you feel me? The other thing I would say is be willing to help out. Just be willing to help out. And it's not like being able to help out with just money. Like maybe duties around the house. So say if you come over to her house and she didn't wash the dishes, like ain't nothing but 15 minutes. Just wash the dishes. Or 20 minutes. You could throw on new girl while you washing the dishes. Chilling. Right? Or you say, hey babe, would you help me? I'll wash, you rinse. And you could do like a little date type thing with it. Like be able to help out where it's needed. And not only do that, when you're a single parent, you don't necessarily have time. So you want to actually incorporate old-fashioned type styles. So what I mean by old-fashioned type styles, it's like old-fashioned type dating, right? Being a single parent means we don't have time to sometimes go out at night. Our bedtime changed from 4 a.m. in the morning to now 9 o'clock, 8:30 in the evening. So you got to figure out ways to do some old-fashioned type dating, like go to a park, go to a carnival, nice little pool day. You want to do that. And a number one thing for dating a single parent or dating a single mom really is don't make assumptions. Don't do them. They say assuming makes ass out of you and me. That's really ass, you, me. That's really all the words in assume, right? So, excuse me, those are my top things when dating a single mom. I guess my last one is be there emotionally. Women do go through a lot emotionally, mentally, that most people don't understand. And the way they think their logic is pretty superior. So you would want to be there for them. You would want to hear them out with listening ears, right, and closed mouths, because what they have to say is important, and don't take that for granted, their vulnerability for granted, because that's truly who they are, right, on the inside. And you got to understand the inside of them, right, their mind and their heart, to really be a staple point within their lives. Now, dating a single dad, some good pointers for that is don't pressure for commitment. Don't. You're always going to be number two. I don't care what he says. I don't care what she says. But when it does come to a single dad, it's not. You're going to be number two. You're never going to be number one. I'm a staple point on that. I always told somebody, no. You're my number one. To be honest, if something happened to my son, I'm going straight for my son. It don't matter. If it was to save you, what's the analogy? So if you both were in the middle of the ocean and there was a shark going towards the both of y'all, one of y'all gotta die. And I had the opportunity to save one of you, right? It's so bad. I had the opportunity to save one of you. I'm saving my child. I don't care. I'm saving my child. It just, you're always going to be number two, but you're going to be the first to go in this scenario, but you're always going to be number two. So just know that, but respect that is for a great cause, because our children is our future. Another thing that works with it is be receptive to his vulnerabilities. Guys are like stones, right? We're like stones. We don't like opening up. Sometimes guys are commitment phobes, right? And what you want to do is just like stake them until they open up. So when a guy does open up and shares an NC Bency, teeny weeny, yellow polka dot, an NC bit of their vulnerability, don't take it for face value. That's what I should say. Take it for face value. Don't throw it in his face later, because he's given up a portion of himself that he would once before just think about and not tell you or not address it with anybody but like some homies or his mom. So be receptive to their vulnerabilities. What's another one? Pitching on resources, right? And pitching in on resources, I would say, isn't money. Like, don't give me no money. I don't need your money. Like, I don't need that. I'm rolling. I'm good. You feel me? I'm living good. I'm looking good. I'm being good. I don't need money. Money circulates, so I'll always have it. So what I mean by pitching resources is help out with ideas on dates and getaways, because those moments are truly valued for being a single parent, especially being a single dad. Sometimes we don't think. We're dumb. I'll call it how I see it. We're dumb sometimes, and it's okay. You know, sometimes it's cute. Like, you could be so cute, but you're so stupid, right? So that's what single dads are, right? So just help out. You know, if the idea wasn't good enough that I had originally for the day, suggest something else that would be meaningful, that would be nice, and it wouldn't have to include the kid. It would just be you and I, right? So help out with dates. Be supportive. Be supportive. And that's the same thing that goes back to the single moms when you're dating a single mom. Since you just gotta be supportive of them. and be able to help out where needed. If I gotta go, I don't know, shoot, if I gotta go out of town for a couple of days and you know that I have dogs, hey look, I can watch your dogs for you. Perfect. Now I don't have to purchase a dog sitter, right? Or have a dog sitter. You're gonna watch my dogs. I'll just tell you to run down. You're a new part of the animal kingdom. Try to handle it to your best abilities and don't freak out. Right? So that's help out where needed. Don't just offer your services here and there, but when it does come down to something that's critical, help out. And the biggest one, I would say, is, other than, take your time with the child, the biggest one I would say is see him for who he is. See him for who he is. What I am to you truly matters. What you see in me truly matters. And I'm not the type of person, or any black man is not the type of person to try to waste his time or their time with someone that don't see them as their love, as their partner, as their significant other, as their forever. They don't see them as being either equal or someone that's going to be able to grow with them. They don't like that. So take him for who he is. If that's a great guy, take him for the great guy. Don't take him as a father. He's his own individual person. He has his own individual needs. He has his own individual goals, dreams, desires. Take him for that person. Because after daddy duty is over and that cape comes off and the mask comes off, you just have this guy, right? Just like for all those strong mothers out there who put in all the work and deserves all the awards on the planet. Being a mom is tough. It's harder than what people believe. And I, shout out to all the single moms out there. Shout out to all the moms that's holding it down, who are independent. They don't know what you guys go through, you gals go through on a day-to-day basis. They don't understand the stress level that you have. Lots of people don't understand the pain that you have either. So shout out to those single moms out there. We care for you. We're watching you. We're still here. But the biggest thing, because I know this went over, I normally have this for 30 minutes. The biggest thing is when you're dating while co-parenting, it's just understanding understanding to be, actually, the biggest thing is to be flexible. Biggest thing is to be flexible. That's a real word. That's a real phrase. Be flexible. Because the mother of your child deserves a certain type of level of respect, certain type of level of accountability within her own life and her child's life. You have to, as that single parent who's not with the mother of your child or the father of your child, have to respect and be accountable for your own actions in favor of the child. And for that other person who's dating you while you have a child, you got to make sure that some of their needs are met too, and that you're not, pushing their wants and desires on the side. So be flexible at all times. Be open-minded. Don't dwell on the past too much. Any drama or arguments or dilemmas. Don't let your insecurities get the best of you. And that's really one of the most biggest things. Don't let the insecurities get too much of you. Be willing to help out at many times. And if it's not serious in the beginning, if it's not too serious, don't incorporate your child. Really, because say if you do get serious and you break up, that's a mental challenge for your child as well. So that's it. We're wet with the mess for this week's difficulties while co-parenting and what it was like for me and what it's like dating a co-parent. gave you guys different standpoints on some pointers and tips for dating single moms. Just gave pointers and tips for dating single dads. Next week's show it's going to be pretty amazing. It's going to be shorter than this one, but it'll still be pretty amazing. Tune into this, share this video, watch it on YouTube, subscribe to all my social media YouTube channels at Weatherly Charles, the Godfather. You know what it is, you know how it is. One finger, one pinky, one thumb, nothing but love. Shout out to everybody who's going to be going out tonight. Be safe. I know it's spring break. Drink up, have fun, but don't go drunk driving. And get your COVID shot if you hadn't had it. The Johnson & Johnson is free. It's also a one and done and lasts a year. I got mine. It's still kind of sore, but get it, get over with it, and you'll be fine. Thank you for watching Well With The Mess, where we talk about love in a black man's view, life with intent and purpose, and fitness with the intent of performance. Your host, Weatherly Charles. Thank you. Come next week at 7.